The zombie flick from Jim Jarmusch, The Dead Don't Die, will be something that 99.9% of people are not going to like or enjoy. But if you're in that 0.1%, you're going to love it. To quote Adam Driver repeatedly, this is going to end badly. Yes, The Dead Don't Die is a zombie flick, but it's also a commentary. And I'm still trying to totally wrap my head around everything that Jarmusch is trying to say in this, or what he's trying to point out. Because at some points, it feels like he's very clear. At one point, he's definitely just blatant, and it was kind of off-putting because he had to be so blatant. I'll get to that in a minute. But then, some of it felt a little disjointed, like, is he actually trying to say something here, or is that me trying to read something in to this and putting something on him that he's not really saying? Now, this movie is awkward. Now, I'm not talking like Gentleman Broncos awkward, but it's stilted and it's patient and they have pregnant pauses. And if you're not into that type of comedy where it's just a little weird and it's patient and it's awkward's the best word that I can use for it, because it was hilarious. But if you don't like it, you're going to find it utterly boring and or stupid. Now, to say this film is weird would be a complete understatement. I mean, there are parts of it that just the weirdness fits within the entire narrative. And you just go with it because everything else is just kind of flowing and it's like, well, that's weird too, but I like it and it works. And then there's some parts where you're like, huh? Now, if you've seen the trailers or you've seen any of the movie posters, whatever, you know there is a ton of big name actors in this. And they are all wonderful. I mean, they all work well together. They all have this patience to them that they just sit in the awkward pauses and they sit and they wait and they're comfortable in it. And I really like that. But then you have Adam Driver and Bill Murray, and together, oh my gosh, they are so awesome. Their timing is superb. Their chemistry is just magnetic to watch because they both are quiet and a little sarcastic, but not a lot. But then they also speak like what you and I would say to each other. I mean, it was just weird. Like if one of them says something odd, the other one would look at him and go, what? Why would you say that? Or what do you mean by that? Where, sometimes that doesn't happen. That in the movie, it doesn't always really connect and make sense. In this, though, it does. And them together, awesome. There is the fool type narrator in this, and he is Hermit Bob, and he's played by Tom Waits. And sometimes his narration fills in little bits here and there in the gaps. Sometimes it's just kind of funny to watch him and the interactions. Other times, though, it doesn't make a lot of sense, or that he's not filling in any gaps. There's a musical reference in this for Wu-Tang, and when you see it, it's awesome. It's cheesy, but it's great. The film is goofy and quirky, and surprisingly, it works really well for me. It's also self-aware, and that is just an outstanding feature in this too. Tilda Swinton is odd in this, or maybe odder than normal, and I loved her. I mean, she was outstanding. Again, all of the cast, Chloe Sevigny, Steve Buscemi, Danny Glover even, I mean, all of them, they worked so well together and I loved them. The social commentary part is probably the part that I liked least in the entire film. And that's because the narrator voices out loud in one point of the film how we are all zombies, how we are all just going through the motions. We are just consumers, just mindlessly going to the next thing. And I don't like it when you have to voice it. I think that shows a weakness in the story, or that you don't think that the audience is going to pick up on this. I mean, come on, most zombie movies do have some kind of commentary to them. And okay, not most. Some zombie movies have commentary to them. And when you look at it and you examine it, a lot of it is fairly easy to read and understand. So because he has to blatantly say that out loud in the script through the narrator, it just loses some of its power and its influence. There's also commentary on politics in the US, and even more so on the misinformation that's out there. How people just believe anything wholeheartedly without doing any type of research, without doing any type of fact finding, or even thinking through for themselves and thinking through things. That they just like, yep, the news said it, that's it. And it doesn't matter what news says it. I don't care which side of the fence you sit on because I hate politics. It's just that, you know what? We're only consumers, we only take in, and we don't critically think about everything that's going on. Now, the explanation for how the zombie apocalypse comes about could be the environmental commentary that I was mentioning. But again, it seems kind of far-fetched, and it doesn't seem in the real realm of possibility, or at least likelihood. So I don't really know if that's an actual commentary, or if he's using just some bits and pieces here, or if that information is shaping into one of the other commentaries. That made a whole lot of sense, didn't it? So seriously, most of you are not going to like this film, and I really find it hard to recommend it because I don't think, knowing that you won't like it or that it won't click with you, I don't want to say, oh my gosh, this is so great, you should go out and see it, and then you hate me because, dude, you gave a terrible recommendation. But if you are into that just awkward and quirky and weird and off sense of humor, then you may actually enjoy it. And I think it is something worth checking out, even if you only see it at Redbox or wait till it comes out on Netflix or some other streaming service, because it is worth seeing. Me personally, I'm going to buy it. I really enjoyed it. And that's kind of a tough point for me also, is exactly pinpointing why I liked it so much. I mean, there is the awkward comedy, there is the cast and just their dialogue and the way that everything works, but there is something else in it, and it made me smile, and it made me laugh out loud, and hopefully it would do that to you if you do decide to check it out. But again, if you're not into that humor, if you've seen Gentlemen Broncos, again, it's like that, but not like that at all. I mean, that is a weird and awkward and just uncomfortable movie for all of the right reasons. This is not so much that, it's just awkward, and it's not awkward in the same way. But if you have that odd sense of humor that enjoyed Gentlemen Broncos, then you will probably enjoy this as well. So some of you are like, what, you're gonna buy it, it's that good? Well, yeah, to me it is. But for you, check it out first. Maybe Redbox, like I said, or some other streaming service. Give it a try. You're not out much, just some time, even if it comes to like Netflix, because you're already paying for Netflix, so there you go. My guess is that it's not going to be in theaters very long, that it will come out relatively quickly to some video on demand service. There is no sex, but there is nudity, profanity, and of course a lot of violence. I give The Dead Don't Die 4.5 out of 5 couches. What is your favorite zombie movie? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.